Good evening and welcome to tonight's show from DJNTV, Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight's show is brought to you by ElectroVoice, DJ Event Planner, DJ Trivia, Odyssey Innovative Designs and Cases, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, and the DJNTV Insiders. Hey, this is John Young here with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. Tonight, we're going to be doing a live version of the podcasting seminar that I did last week at the Marquee Show in Las Vegas, in Chicago. Too many things going on. So what I'm going to be doing tonight is I'm going to go through, do the seminar, because we did the seminar and we streamed it live last week, and a lot of you got to see. And if you did, you probably are good, and you can go on to something else exciting and fun tonight. If you didn't, I'm going to be going through the tools that we use for podcasting, a lot of the different things that work, a couple of them that don't work very well. And then the links and everything will be available for everything I talk about tonight. So let me just pop over to the screen here. That will get us going. Okay, so I've got the little PowerPoint here, and you'll be able to follow along. Everything that we're going to talk about for pieces, if you go and pop open a window in your browser right now, that's djntv.com/podcasting, and I'll actually put that into the chats here, http djntv.com/podcasting. That will get you to the list of all the items we're going to talk about. Links to everything. So you can go out there, and if you want to buy one of the pieces and such, there's going to be a few pieces that I'll highly recommend for whatever you're going to be doing. And there's going to be some pieces that are only going to be used for what we do when we're doing our podcasting. So let's jump right into it. First off, the cameras that we use. We use a lot of the Logitech. We have different Logitech cameras. We have the 920, the 922, and the 930. You're watching me right now on a 920, the C920. The S is the shutter, I believe, on that particular one. But that's the one that we're using right now. The big difference between the 920 and the 930, which are the two main ones, is the 930 is supposed to be a little bit higher def. It's supposed to have a little bit better colors and such in it, and it has a little wider angle. This the 920 has about a 78, I believe, degree, and the 930 has a 90 degree. So you can get a little bit wider angle if I'm going to be doing something where we have two people, which is why I have the 930. When we go to Vegas and we're doing the interviews at the table, I'll have it on a laptop or on a little tripod, and it picks up both of us a little bit better and doesn't distort the image. You can see on this particular one, it has the little covers, the shutter, because some people like to cover that. This is the 930. Both very similar looking. They function the same. The audio pickup on them is okay. It's better than many microphones that are built on computers, but it isn't the greatest sound. If you want decent quality sound, you'll have to get something else that we'll be talking about in a little bit. The biggest reason I went with a 920 and a 930 is on the bottom of them. I can't even show you because that one, it's right there. On the bottom is the ability to, it has a little 1/4 inch, the nut is there for using it on a tripod. So I can use it on a gooseneck, one little gooseneck, anything that can hold a camera, basically. If it can screw into the bottom of a camera or camcorder, it will go into these. So I can put these in a variety of different places, on a gooseneck, on a tripod. I can hang them, from a mic, a boom mic like this. I can do a variety of different things, and it's all because they have that. Now, the next one, if you wanted to take a step up and you're like, hey, John, I love the the idea, because they do give us a good image if you have decent lighting, but I want to go 4K. Well, Logitech has one option right now that is something that seems to be very highly recommended. I do not have this one, but the Logitech Brio 4K doesn't. The biggest reason I don't have it is because it doesn't have the ability to. And granted, I'm not using a tripod, but you can't tripod mount it, so I wouldn't be able to take it with me. But I could put it on this computer, except the computer probably doesn't have the processing capability to handle 4K well. and address Facebook Live and DJs. That's something we can talk about a little bit later when I get into Facebook Live, Rick. So thanks for being with me tonight. Right now we're talking gear, then we'll talk about software and different things with that. So the Brio is out there for 4K from Logitech, and there's others out there, but I've been really happy with Logitech. I would say I probably have 6 or 8 of these. Between my kids, I have a couple of the 920s, and I think I have probably 4. 1, 2, mobile, 2, 3, yeah, I've got 5 of the 920s myself. My children have 2 of them, 3 of them, and then of course I've got my 930 that I also take with me. So that's kind of the camera. You can use the cameras, the webcams on your devices, such as the Mac with a FaceTime camera. Generally, they're a little bit lower resolution. They're at 720, the FaceTime cameras are. Not that that's a big deal, but there is a difference in color quality than with the Logitechs. The Logitechs have just been a lot better when it came to the color quality. That's why I like them. So let's get into audio. Audio, we have different mixers. The Behringer there is one of them. Here is its... This is actually one that I was using. We've got a variety of different mixers. The Behringer, this is what I liked about this one, this 502 USB, is it hooks up USB-wise into your computer, and it allows you to run a microphone into it. It doesn't have quite as much gain and a few other features that the Yamaha that we're talking about in a little bit does, but it's a $50 mic. If you need something, in essence, inexpensive, and you're going to be doing just yourself, and you're going to be doing a podcast, this could be a great option for you. If you're going to be doing Zoom and you're going to try to do some fancy things like we do sometimes, there are workarounds of how to port audio back and forth, but the Behringer are not as natively designed to do that as the Yamaha are. So it's a nice little inexpensive board. One microphone in, you can drop in audio in that if you need to, run audio from your laptop. And if you're doing Zoom calls or Zoom conferencing with your clients, you can do some things with this, but it is fairly limited and it doesn't quite have as much headroom as the Yamaha boards do. Wait a second, I got to go to this one. If you need to step up your game, this is the 1202. And I believe this is the 802. Both of them are USB units. I've got 2 mic jacks on this one. That one has 4 mic jacks. This one will allow. This is one I was taking with us when we went mobile. This worked really well mobile because I could bring in the 2 mic jacks. I could adjust the 2 mics as we were using these types of mics. Worked well, except it's very difficult to handle Zoom conferencing. So if we were at a live show and I wanted to bring in someone from the outside, MJ or one of the others, to be with me on a show for the night, it did not work very well. So the Behringers, there's a variety of options with those. Yeah, they can do some things. Oh, here I am clicking the wrong ones. So you need to go to the Yamaha. The Yamaha or Personas. Personas has some functionality, but I find them very hard to work with, truthfully. My big Personas board, not as much. But the little ones, you're trying to do these USB audio interfaces that they're really trying to pitch those for bands. I can't figure them out. And I'm not the most tech savvy guy. I get that, but I'm better than a lot of people, and I still is struggling to figure it out, and I can't get the sound. So I went to Yamaha. The MG10 is right here, down below, right there is where it's at. And that particular unit is what we use on a daily basis. I actually picked up a second one for my second studio, which is behind me, and that has been the one that has gone mobile with me the last couple of times we've done shows. The biggest advantage I find over this is I have my compression, I have more gain with it, I have some effects, which are all great and fine and good, but I can run the audio in from Zoom into this, and I have the guests now on a channel here, so I can adjust them. I have me on a channel that I can adjust them, and I can pipe all of that audio out into Wirecast and send it out to you guys. And they can hear me in Zoom. They can hear me, and everything works. When I don't have that capability like this has to be able to bring the USB in and out, such as the Behringer, I have to do something funky with the sound to get it to capture and do that back and forth. And it's just not for Wirecast. It doesn't work. So we've gone Yamaha. This is the big one. And then there's a smaller version, the GO3. Does very much the same thing, but it's a single mic unit. So if I were going to spend the money, they're basically about the equivalent money. I would go with the bigger one, the MG10 XU. But if you want to go small and you want to stay white with that and you only need one microphone, that GO3 is a kind of a cool little board. Michael's using that more for his audio production and his music, where he's doing his different songs and such. And that is the board for that. So the microphone that we use for most of our podcasts, we have 2 of them here in a studio, one on each side. Ta-da! One here and one over here. They're ElectroVoice. These are the RE420. ElectroVoice has a couple of different studio microphones that are very common within the industry. The RE320 is kind of the step up. There's another step that's just down below that one just a little bit. They're very good microphones. They're meant for this type of application. You see a lot of people who are doing voiceover work who use these. They're a fabulous mic in a studio setting. Does everybody need this? No, not everybody needs this. But once you have it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I want that all the time, because you'll hear when I'm doing a show and I'm using this and someone else is maybe using a handheld microphone, or they're using no microphone at all, and it sounds night and day different. And you guys, I've heard you many times complain, they sound like crap. Well, yeah, unfortunately, I'm going through kind of an expensive microphone into a mixer that can do some effects to my voice, and they're coming in essence, kind of raw, we'll call it, for lack of a better way to describe it. So the RE320 mic, again, it's out on that DJNTV.com/podcasting, so you can check it out there. I keep hitting the wrong button. So to be able to hold that, you need a shock mount. I tried this without a shock mount, where basically I was using a little mic stand, and I found that when I do this kind of stuff and I hit the table, anything I would do that on a table, even if I was going and typing, click, 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 it was coming through the microphone. You need to have a shock mount, and I like the was it 309A. It's a nice shock mount. It's an EV. It fits the microphone. It kind of all matches and such. It's not going to break the bank. If you break a little rubber shock mount piece, you can get those replacements. They're really inexpensive. So I did break one. I had to get another set of them, and now I'm good to go for a while, because you get 4 of them in that replacement. Nice microphone, nice. And then you get into the actual articulating arm itself. These are the actual Rode ones. There's so many of them out there. The biggest thing to look for when you're looking for the boom itself, if I can bring that over, the boom itself is, again, I use the Rode one, and it costs, I want to say $80 to $100, somewhere in that ballpark. Make sure it's something that can handle the weight. And some of them will say that it can only handle small microphones. The bigger ones are heavy, so if you're going to use a big one, make sure you get a boom that can handle that. I didn't put anything up there because there's so many different options. The $15 one might work. It might take you a $100 one. It might take you a $150 one, depending upon your mic. To capture audio, in tonight's configuration, we are going from a laptop. My little MacBook Air is running the PowerPoint presentation. It's sending out an HDMI signal through the Thunderbolt to HDMI converter. Then it's going HDMI into this. This is the Blackmagic design. This is their Ultra Studio mini recorder, and it takes in an HDMI signal and it sends it out into, in this case, Thunderbolt that goes into this iMac. They also have these for USB 3 for PC users. But this is a great little device. It's about $150, somewhere in that ballpark, and it allows you to take a camcorder. If I wanted to run a camcorder, I can feed it into this. If I, doing this source, if I want to go do a DVD player, whatever, anything HDMI goes into this, and I've got it for the video. So that's what you're seeing being used right now. I have probably, I think, 4 or 5 of these, because you can run multiple if you have a computer with enough horsepower. So on the iMac, I could actually run 2 of these. So I could run 2 cameras, I could run 2 HDMI cameras, and then I could run USB cameras. I could actually run 2 or 3 USB cameras. So I could have 5 cameras running on this and switching between them on this iMac, which is kind of a cool little feature. So the little mini recorder definitely makes it so you can get high quality video. Now, why I don't use this on a regular basis for our podcasting is that it's just, I don't need that high quality video all the time. The Logitech gives you a nice video. You can see in some of our early videos where I was using this and our guests were using just a regular webcam, and there was such an incredible difference that I kind of stepped back from that, because it made me look fabulous, but it made them not look as good. This way, was stepping back a little bit, and we might both look a little grainy. Okay, I'm good with that. We're at least closer to consistent with that. Capturing audio, we're going to bounce back to that. And that's share. It's sure. It bugs me. So we're going to fix that one. This is what I just showed you is the Shure. And I missed that. There we go. This is the Shure. This is the X2U. And what this little device will do is allow me to capture audio, and I can run it USB into my computer, or I can run the USB connection into my mobile device. So I can run it into a cell phone, whether it's Droid, or I can run it in to an Apple device, whether it's an iPad or an iPhone. It has all the connections involved there. It'll do phantom power, so I can run a microphone that needs phantom power, or it can run just a regular condenser, regular dynamic microphone, whatever. It can handle that. It has a little bit of gain control. It has the ability to monitor. It's a neat little device. The negative is it's only one mic in, but for quick and easy podcasting, where I want to go put my phone up on a stand and leave it there, and I want to have a decent quality mic, this could be the answer, because you could use it on your computer at home, and you could use it on your phone remotely and getting really good quality audio. You could take that. You take that little device, and then you take your Sennheiser, your E865. You have got yourself a studio quality sound even on your cell phone, which is really quite cool. This little device, when it's all charged up and ready to go, has some good runtime. It has much better runtime than our next device. Got to hit the right one, which is the iRig Pro Duo. iRig Pro is a single channel one. The Duo is a 2-channel one. The Duo is a great concept. There's a couple of things that it doesn't do, and I'll get you that. The concept is, though, you can run 2 XLR inputs to it. You can have phantom power or not. You have your gains in the front. You can do that. And then it exports out into a single, sending it to your phone or tablet. We actually ran this at DJ Expo last year when Brian and I were going live. Negative thing, the batteries, a good set of AA batteries only last about 45 minutes. So you don't have a lot of runtime. Obviously, lesser quality batteries are going to last a little less. Second problem is that one microphone is in one ear and one mic's in the other ear, and there's no way to basically run them in mono. You're going to get that thing. So Brian was in one ear and I'm in the other. And for people who are listening to one earphone instead of 2, they're like, his mic's not working. No, it's in the other earbud, and you're only using one earbud type of thing. Short battery life, and of course the left and right thing. Beyond that, the sound quality, once we kind of dialed it in, it did sound pretty good. It didn't have the most gain in the world, but we're talking mobile devices, so you get what you get. Battery life, if I could have battery life, I could live with the left and right thing. Or, battery life's my biggest thing. It's supposed to be able to use a 5-volt adapter, power adapter, but I have not been able to find one that fits that. And I have probably a good dozen different 5-volt adapters that are that size, but none of them work. So this is my first piece of all the pieces I've talked about that I certainly would not waste that kind of money if you're looking for that 2 microphone in a mobile setting. If you're looking for that, I would go with something like the Zoom 4 HN Pro. That can be a standalone recorder, just for a digital recorder. If I wanted to record the vowels, I'd say this is the unit you would use. Or on the bottom, you can actually plug in 2 XLR microphones, then port that out into your computer. And now I've got some really good control. I can adjust the gain on both microphones. I can actually see it bouncing on the bars. And then I'm getting the audio in both ears instead of just in one or the other. So these little guys are just fabulous. And what's nice about it is you put batteries in that, and it will last you. In our case, it would last you multiple shows. So much better with batteries, a better quality sound, more capability with being able to adjust it and give some compression and different things. There we go. Okay, I'm just checking the chat here. Sorry. The chat there. I didn't see anything too much. I think no springs. I'm not sure. I got to be following that closer. Anyway, the Zoom 4 HN is a good little device for that. If you want something that's just going to be a little bit less, where you're just wanting to copy or catch the audio for podcasting and not doing video, the H1N is a great little device that captures incredible audio for its size and for its price point. So this is what you would use if you wanted to get into it a little bit cheaper for capturing the vowels. You can take something like this, and I have literally sat this on the front chair in the church and aimed it right up towards the couple. Actually, what I did is there was a little spot you can tripod mount it. So I took a little gooseneck and screwed it on there and put it there and aimed it towards them. And that was able to capture their vowels at about 12 feet really quite well. It has this pretty decent shotgun microphone capability. That's all I wanted it for, is just to catch those two doing their vowels. And it worked wonderfully for that. Not that expensive whatsoever. It has some great functionality, and it allows you to cue and listen to a few things. It has some neat applications. It wouldn't be my preferred one for podcasting per se, but if I was just doing an audio podcast, this would be able to capture everything, and I can then take it, put it on my computer, and off I go. For doing cell phone type podcasts, if you want to be able to get into it and do it, in essence, the quickest, cheapest way to a point and still get really good quality sound, Rode Smartlav Plus is a little lapel mic. You can see that on that 1/8-inch jack there. It's a tip ring sleeve. That's cell phone world right there, tip ring sleeve. Typical headphone jacks for our Walkman that we used to have back in the day were tip ring sleeve, because that was just a stereo. This is obviously tip ring sleeves because it has the ability to have a microphone and the audio out. This little device is worth its weight in gold. It's about $70 to $80. Again, if you maybe even on the Prime thing, it's a lot cheaper. And if it's below $50, I would buy two. Great little lab mics. It's in a little thing. You keep one in your gear, and that way, whenever you have an instance where you're maybe going to be wanting to do a video at a gig, you can literally hold that, and you could be doing things, and it could be really loud in a room, and they're still going to hear you. I've been outside in a winter time where there was a wind blowing, and you couldn't hear. I was holding the phone, and you couldn't hear me talk to the phone. But as soon as I plugged that in and had it right here, you could hear, and there was very little wind noise. So it's a really cool. There's a lot of cheaper ones, knockoff ones coming from China. I saw already in today with a couple of today. There was one for $9.99, and there was another one that was $14.99, and they have pretty good reviews. But I've used a lot of these, and they don't hold up anywhere close to what the Rode, and they don't have the same sound quality as the Rode. A lot of the people who are using those are using them for very minimal applications where they're not demanding a decent quality sound. They're looking for okay. The Rode is going to give you 2 notches above that quality sound, so it's worth the investment. If you're going to buy something like that, you're going to want to be able to use it in a variety of different applications. The Rode SE4 is a device that takes that tip ring sleeve and takes it down to a tip ring sleeve. So with that, now I can use my lav on my camcorder or my DSLR that has a mic input. So I can make use of that lav in a couple of different applications, and it's like, yay, that makes life happy. There's this cable, which is the SC4. And there's another one, the SC3. This particular one goes the opposite way. It takes a microphone that would be using, such as some of the little shotgun mics that you can mount on top of your camera. Many of those for cameras are tip ring sleeve, is all they are. This adapts it from a tip ring sleeve to a tip ring sleeve for a cell phone. So I can use my Rode Pro shotgun mic. I can get the bracket to hold the phone and the bracket to hold the mic. And then with this little device, I can use that mic, that shotgun mic, with my cell phone, which is kind of convenient at times when I want to be able to hold that cell phone and interview somebody that's a distance away. So just keep in mind that there's a difference between the SC4 and the SC3. And if you look at, sometimes there's been a few times where I've needed to order one of these, and I went and I ordered the right one, but the picture was wrong. And I ordered it, and it was the wrong one. And it was the wrong one in the picture, but yet it said it was supposed to be the right one. So it was like, okay, send it back. So just be aware, SC3 and SC4 are 2 different ones, and make sure you get the right one when you're ordering it, unless you're ordering it from someone who you trust and such. The last one in the Rode world here that I wanted to talk about is the SC6L. This is a new one from Rode. Because I'm an Apple person, I've got the Lightning connector. And this particular device has a Lightning connector, and it has the ability to run 2 of the labs in there, the Smartlav Plus. You can run 2 mics in, and then you have the monitor out. So I can use this, and I can use an app called Filmic Pro on my phone, which is a paid for, I think it's like an $8 or $10 app. And then I can go and I can record a video. And what's cool about it is I can be recording. I could have you with me. You've got one lab, I've got the other, and we're talking. And I could have an earbud in monitoring it. And with the Filmic Pro, I can monitor. I can see us both talking. I can see the wave forms bouncing, and I can also listen to it in my ear, which is really, really cool, because then I know I'm getting decent quality, especially when I'm doing an interview or a podcast. Great time to use this would be if you're at an event and maybe you're going to interview the venue manager and say, hey, Fred, this is a really popular spot. Can you tell me one idea that you guys like to do for the introduction to the wedding party, to make it unique based on this venue? Oh, yes, we like to have the wedding party come in. Half of them come down this step and half of them come down this step. And it becomes kind of this really signature thing that we do at our venue, whatever. I'll be able to have good quality sound from both of us. I'll be able to listen to it to assure that we have good quality sound. And then, of course, it's just a great little tool. So this is actually one that I have added to my cart, and I need to get that myself. If I want to go higher up, and I want to go to a handheld, and the handheld I use with that is the Sennheiser. But this is from Sennheiser. This is their EW500 film G4. It's in a G4 series. Basically what this is it's a receiver. One of those is a receiver, and then there's a transmitter that runs a lav microphone that will go back to the receiver, and then the other is a handheld, the base in the handheld that we use an XLR microphone. This is a 3-piece kit. What you see right there is pretty much what you get, and this unit runs around $1,200. It's not cheap, but what's really cool about it is that once it's dialed in, I run off AA batteries. I can basically run all day off a good set of AA batteries. and I sound absolutely fabulous. If I'm running phantom power, the transmitter for the handheld, the XLR, doesn't quite last as long as it would without phantom power, but still I might have to change batteries once in the course of a day if I'm doing a 50 to 100 of these little videos where I'm at trade shows. But the sound quality is absolutely fabulous. With the addition of that E865 from Sennheiser, I can hold it close and I sound good. I can pull it down and I still sound good. I can almost use it as a kind of a shotgun mic and it still sounds really good. And it's all this wireless capability that it's just absolutely fabulous. So I would definitely highly recommend that. There are a couple of other versions that are out there right now that I've talked about, and I don't know if I put the XS wireless system in here. I don't think it is in here, but there's a couple of other things from Sennheiser that are out there, and there's other companies that have some. If you want to go into something less expensive, I would look at maybe the Sennheiser, their XS series stuff. I did a video on that. I haven't been able to use the one that hooks into the camera. I've only used the one that just transmits audio from one location to another via XLR in, wireless, XLR out. That's all I've been able to use so far. So I really can't say if it's going to be great for our application, but from what I've seen of the other piece, I think it would be. This little device, the Movo PR1, is a cell phone holder that basically you can put your phone in there. It can have the case. It can be the bigger phone. You can tighten it up, and it has a cold shoe on the top. It has a quarter-inch on the base, so I can go and put it on a tripod if I wanted to. And then at the very top, it has another quarter-inch, so I could actually use a male-to-male quarter-inch piece there, and then I could add another cold shoe, or I could add another device up on top, or whatever I wanted to do. I use this because I put that Sennheiser receiver, the receiver, which is the left one of these two. But anyway, those packs is the receiver. It has a cold shoe mount that will fit on the top. I can run the wires down and I can run it into my cell phone. And then I have that nice little handle for holding a phone. And sometimes it can be a little more steady. And sometimes I've had too much coffee and I shake like a tree. But it's a nice little device, and I've been really happy with the build and construction quality of this. Some of them where they're a spring clip, after a period of time, the spring feels kind of like it's wearing out, whatever, really quickly. This particular one, I've been really happy. It's done a number of trade shows so far, and it still looks as good and as strong today as it was when I first bought it. Getting to this, back to the Sennheiser, this is the E865. I absolutely love this particular microphone. It does take phantom power, so it's going to pull a little bit more power, but that sound quality is absolutely fabulous. And it's fabulous at a range of distances, which is kind of cool. There's another microphone from ElectroVoice, the RE420. The 420, I think, has got a little bit better sound quality. The thing I've found when I've been playing with it is that the 420 doesn't seem, as I'm pulling it away, it doesn't seem to have that pickup from here to here. But yet when it's, that within that 6 inches to a foot, somewhere in that ballpark, it has a richer sound quality, I think, than the 865. Both of them are great microphones. Either would be a wonderful addition to your mobile shows as well. Of course, if you've got a controller, most of them don't have phantom power, so then you're out of that. But if you have the ability to run something with phantom power, both would be a great addition to that. And then if you're doing podcasts and you want to basically be right there, short of a studio mic, either one of these would be a fabulous addition to your studio for great quality sound. Lighting, when it comes to these things, I found that I want to have lighting. Our soft white bulbs are kind of a 2700K bulb, and you go into some of the cool white, which is up to about 5000K. The 3000 to 4000K seems to be kind of the popular spot. And I use in the office here, and I've actually taken these mobile also, these little puck lights. They're nothing fancy. I picked these up at our local Menards, Home Depot type place. They've got a little on-off toggle switch. What's neat about these is that they are dimmable. And I picked up the little $10 dimmer. So I have the little dimmer that I can control. Let me just go over here, and here's my dimmer that I can bring the lights up and down. But I wanted to go with a little bit of the warm white. I didn't want to go too cool with that because I look pasty enough the way it is. So this gives me a little bit more color, and then I can use some apps to adjust that. Really inexpensive. Abe Lab also has puck lights. They were showing at the Marquee show last week, and those little puck lights, we could adjust the color temperature to where we wanted them. They weren't breaking the bank whatsoever, and there's some technology there that would allow me to use those there or use them in a variety of different applications, up lights. And I mean, I could take them remotely to shows, and I wouldn't have to worry about, I could stick them on a wall with magnets and such. They're pretty cool. So just the big thing to think about is trying to find something in that 3,500 to 4,000. I've got my weekend handyman studio. All the lights in there are 4,000, and the videos that we get with that color temperature has been really, really good. Yes, sometimes I might look a little pasty in that, but the tools and all the things that I'm working on, they just pop and they look really good with that color temperature at 4,000. There's a lot of software that we're using for our different things. We've got Wirecast, OBS, or Wirecast is what we mainly use, and that's what I'm using right now on the main computer. Wirecast allows me to capture the video and to be able to put that up. OBS is another device that captures the video and can send that out to either streaming on Facebook or YouTube. The top three are that. Zoom is the conference software that we use. The place where you're going to use Zoom, I think, the most is in doing client meetings, whether it's the pre-sale client meeting or the after. Some people like Skype, some people like FaceTime. I don't care to use either of those because I don't want to have their contact information and I don't want them to have my contact information. Like on Skype, I've got to share username. And I was talking to someone who does that and they were saying, as soon as I'm done with the meeting, I block the person. And it's like, well, that just seems kind of weird and, creepy that you do that, but that's what they have to do because you don't want your stuff. Zoom, I can email them a link. I can text message them the link. I can messenger message the link to them. We have our meeting. We can talk. We can share screens. We can back and forth and we can record it. And when we're done, they're not connected to me anymore and I'm not connected to them. So it's a little bit more private, but yet it's still very functional for what we do. And then let's continue on. Webcam Settings is a neat little app, and we're going to look at that in just a minute. We're going to go through most all of these. And Restream.io is a new one that we're starting to use, which will allow us to send a stream up to that. And it takes that, and then we identified 7 different spots, 7 Facebook pages and YouTube channels. And it sends a video to all of those all at the same time. So if you could watch me tonight on YouTube, you could watch me on Facebook, you could watch me on a Disc Jockey News Facebook, you could watch me on DJNTV Facebook, you could watch me on my personal Facebook. It's sending to all of these different channels at the exact same time. That's what Restream does, and it's not hugely expensive. Again, we'll look at that in just a second. Audio blocks and video blocks and videoes are places to get things that you can use for dropping elements and intros, outros, what have you, to your podcast. And again, everything that we're going to be looking at is all the links, even to those different things, are out at djntv.com/podcasting. But what I want to do is I'm going to bounce back to this computer, and I'm going to show you a few things here with the software. So now what I have to do is I have to mirror the page. So just hang with me here. And I'm going to be spending more time looking down here. You know what I can do? I can just do this. Am I in it? No, I'm not. Where am I? I'm behind the microphone. Okay, yes, you're looking at the power plant back there. So now we're looking at Zoom. This is the back end of Zoom, and I have the business account set up on Zoom. So I have the ability to have multiple users. We have a pro account, which means that we can go longer than 40 minutes, and then we have the webinar capability also. What the webinar capability is if you want to do a podcast, say for a bunch of your local wedding professionals, and you want to give them a private Zoom link, but you don't want them to be able to jump in and be on camera with you, the webinar is really cool with that. I can do my presentation, I can share screens, I can do whatever, and then they can see it, but they can't jump in. If I want to promote someone so they could be on video with me, I can do that. But webinar, they don't naturally jump in. With the meetings, which is what we use most of the time, is I give them a Zoom link and they can jump in, and then they can turn their camera on, they can turn their microphone on, and yes, I can turn them back off again. But you've watched shows where we're doing a show and we're open like that, and all of a sudden they're there. You can go and schedule meetings by I can schedule a new meeting and then send that link. I can schedule it and say I'm going to be talking to Mike and Phyllis at 8:00 Tuesday. I can schedule it, get that all done, and I can send that to them. And then when I come to log into my Zoom, I can start that meeting ahead of my time with them, and then they are good. They are good to go. If I have recordings, which this might show, okay, if I would have recordings that I have done in the cloud, which is what I would recommend, then I would be able to see them right here, and I could download those. So if I had a planning meeting with a client, how much easier would it be than to record it? And then I can go and refresh my memory when I go back, 6 months later, or I could take that recording after we're done and chop and keep a couple of the important parts, and then I can refer back to that 6 months later, that kind of thing. How great that would be. We can do different things with rooms and different things. The one area that I wanted to show you is, in addition, one of they've added to the area here, and I want to go to users if I can here, and I'm going to go to my user account here. So this would be what it would look like for your user account if you were on a professional one. You can go through here and you can see that there's different settings and such and whatever. But I want to show you one area is that I can choose meetings, and I want settings, and I want to go meetings here. And then I'm going to go down to in meeting advanced, because there's a lot of things you can do. You can turn on and off. And down here is the coolest thing. I can go with the meeting now. This is something that's been added. Pieces have been added over the last year and a half. I can stream a meeting to Facebook. I can stream it to YouTube, and I can stream it to a custom live stream service, which the custom live stream service could be anything. You could send that to anybody who is an RTMP server, but that could go to Restream. That's what we're using it for. And you can go and you grab the information that you need and you put it in there. And it would now, as soon as we started the meeting, it would go right there. So I can go and be able to use this. And I don't need to have Wirecast unless I want to do overlays or do commercials or do things like that. But if I just want to start a video and just talk, I can use this and do that from that. It has to be activated though on your user account. So I had to go through and activate it on the different ones, but this is what many of our DJNTV personalities are going to be able to use as we go forward. Let's see, I want to show you, webcam settings. I want to show you that one here. If it pops up and show webcam setting panel. The webcam setting panel, if I can move it here, will allow me to do some different things. And on a PC, most of the time you have some different things that are set up in that. But if you don't have this on a Mac, you can go, and it's not going to show me anything because I'm not using the camera on this particular computer. But on the more advanced things on my big computer, I can zoom in, I can change the colors, and I can change the saturation hue or whatever. I can really kind of add a little bit of color to me so I don't look so pasty. And you can do this for depending upon which camera. I can put settings on for my FaceTime camera or for my Logitech. And that webcam settings is a great little tool that we use quite a bit. I'm gonna just hide that or quit it. There we go. We use that quite a bit on our shows, and I can tell the shows when I don't use it because the video just looks really bad. I'm just gonna give you a little preview of Wirecast and just give you an idea. There's a new version of it. There's always a new version of Wirecast, it seems. Why you saw that second window is that each of these little black boxes down here, and yeah, you can see that, each of these are a different shot. There's different layers. Here's a layer, here's a layer, here's a layer. And we can go and we can put video components on layers, and there's transparency capabilities. So like the video that I guess I don't have it going right now, but the video down at the very bottom, sometimes we are running like a little pop-up banner on the lower third. That would be on the top layer. Then right below that would be a layer where we're going to have different, maybe that's where we're going to do the main picture. And I can actually have a layer below that would maybe being a loop of audio that would be like jungle sounds, whatever. That's why there's different layers, and you can use that, putting scores up, and you're putting, the station identification on a layer. You can have these going, and you just click and turn them on, multiple on at the same time. And then this is the preview window, because all of these graphics links, I've thrown all the graphics away to make it so I could have this presentation. I forgot that when I threw those away, they don't show up anymore, but I had to do that so I could take this presentation to Marquee show last week. But you'd click the graphic and the image, and it would show up here, whatever, a little preview of it. And then you click this little go live, and then it goes on to this one, which is what is streamed out. You've got on the top here, I can record it. I can set up my recording information. I enter that into my output settings, and I can go set up our YouTube channel and our Facebook things, and they can enter all that information in. And then once it's entered in, then when I click the little go live right here, that's what this one is, it will then broadcast to either Facebook or YouTube. Or if I go to Restream, I can go to multiple Facebook or multiple YouTubes. With Wirecast, if I have the right connection and enough horsepower in the machine, the computer, I can stream to Facebook and Wirecast at the same time. I've done Facebook, Wirecast, and Shoot.tv at the same time. So I had 3 at one time. That was pushing this computer. So the Restream has really helped now that I can go to 7 different spots. And the computer's at 46% of its CPU usage, which is really, really quite low. On this MacBook Air, if I would be trying to live stream from that, it would be pushing 90 to 95 with whatever I'm doing, just because the MacBook Air doesn't have the video capability of the other. Let's see. What other one? Hang on a sec with me, and I'm going to just pop back to the. This is when I didn't. Webcam settings, Zoom, VMix. OBS is, by the way, is free. Wirecast is about $1,000 to buy the one we use. You can get it anywhere from $250, $500, or $1,000. We use the big one, and that's changed now that we just pay, I think, $200 a year, a subscription fee now, because we bought the big one, and then to keep up with the latest versions, they charge that. So let's talk about Facebook. Facebook streaming a little bit. Facebook streaming, of course, is something that we all like to do. We all think that's really cool, and a lot of DJs. Sorry about this. This is going to be a little sketchy here for a second. Facebook streaming is something we all like to do, and we all think it's really, really cool to do. But the question becomes: is Facebook streaming at our events? Is there? What's the best way to do that if we wanted to do that? The only time I would really recommend Facebook streaming from an event is if you get there early enough and there's really no one around and you want to do like a little walkthrough or something, or show something cool. That's a time to Facebook live stream. There's no problem with it then. If you're doing a dance, and I've seen DJs who are like, oh, darn, Facebook, I was streaming from my dance and they blocked it because of the music. No. You don't have the rights to stream live music at your events. That's not, you don't have that. Oh, I paid for the music. No, not in Facebook's world. You haven't paid for the right to put it on your Facebook page. So don't be streaming your events. Stream when no one's around. Because most of your events are private events anyway. Or you're in a public place. Yes, I get that. You're in a bar. But you know what? When I'm in a bar and I'm having a couple, I don't expect to have to worry about somebody having a camera and live streaming, and all of a sudden, I fall on my face because I slipped on an ice cube, and that becomes everywhere in the world. I know in this day and age, you probably should assume that everything is like that, but it's not cool to do. Take pictures, if you want, take a video clip and make a montage later, that making sure no one's looking stupid, but don't live stream. If you are going to do that live stream beforehand, I would highly recommend you having some sort of a little device to hold your phone that you're going to be, like that little handle I showed you, that the unit earlier. But some selfie sticks are really quite good with that also. And then get your that Rode Lav mic. That Rode Lav mic, I've done parades where I've had wind blowing, and that little Rode Lav mic will make you sound really good as you're live streaming. You'll be able to do what you need to do. You're not going to hear yourself, but you know what? It doesn't matter. You don't need to hear yourself when it comes to live streaming from an event. Just don't live stream things in which, if you were the one that was having the wedding, or you're the one that was doing the school dance and it was your kids there, don't live stream from events that you would be offended if someone live streamed it on you. And I think you'll be fine. But unfortunately, DJs think that, I can, just because the technology exists, I can do it. No, you shouldn't do that. So, well, that's about it for this for the little podcasting. Again, all the information is out at djntv.com/podcasting. You can go out there and you check out all the different devices we talked about, and all the links are there, so you can see if there's something there. You can click on that and check it out more. All of them were Amazon, and that maybe there was one or two that weren't Amazon, because most of them are only found on Amazon. Pretty much is where they are. So, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. Just go out to Messenger, go m.me/JohnYoungMN, and that'll take you right to my Messenger page, and send me a message, and I'll happily answer any questions or anything to that effect. And in about a half an hour, give or take, we'll get things set up, and hopefully we'll have Dan and Shaney on, and they're going to just kind of hang out and chat a little bit tonight, and kind of get you guys up to speed of what's been going on, and getting ready for a few more shows coming up this summer. So once again, this is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.